Hi guys, welcome back to day 4 of my 7-day PPPD Recovery Series. Now today we're going to be talking all about allowing, what allowing is, what it isn't, and how you can use it to help yourself recover from medically unexplained chronic dizziness like PPPD. I'm also going to be sharing one of my favourite allowing techniques that really helped me when I was recovering from PPPD. So just to recap, on day 2 we spoke about awareness, day 3 we spoke about acceptance, and day 4 naturally leads into allowing. So bringing some awareness to your patterns, your thoughts, your behaviours, your choices, accepting that this is where you are right now without anything needing to change. And then allowing is very much allowing symptoms to be there while you start to re-engage with normal life and be the person that you want to be, regardless of whether symptoms are there or not. Now, allowing in the exact same way as acceptance should not feel like giving up. It should not feel like accepting defeat. It's also not about wanting symptoms or wanting to feel this way forever. So allowing means I am willing for this to be here without needing for it to change in any way. So when we're constantly checking our bodies for dizziness, what we're doing is we're teaching our brains that these sensations matter. So through allowing the symptoms to be there without them needing to change actually teaches the opposite. It helps our brain to learn that these sensations are useless information, they're not important, they're not dangerous, and then the brain can start to filter them out. Now, I want you to imagine a scared puppy in a cage for just a second. Now, your goal is to help this scared little puppy to trust you and to feel safe. So how would we do that? First of all, we're not going to shout and scream or shake the cage to try and get the puppy to trust us. That's actually going to make the puppy feel more scared and more anxious. Instead, we might sit next to the cage for a while, we might offer it some treats, we might talk to it in a really calm, soft and gentle voice, and over time, that scared little puppy is going to start to trust you more and more. Now, I want you to imagine that this scared little puppy is like your nervous system. So your nervous system is asking for safety. So if there's a part of you that doesn't feel safe right now, the last thing we want to do is to shout at it, tell it that it shouldn't be feeling the way it feels, or try to force it to do something that it's not yet ready to do. Your goal is to help your nervous system to feel safe in the environment that it's in. So we're not changing the environment for the puppy, we're not changing the environment for your nervous system. We are meeting that puppy exactly where it is at right now. And how long it takes for that puppy to learn to trust you is going to be on its very own timeline, which is exactly the same for you in comparison to anybody else that is trying to recover from medically unexplained chronic dizziness. That's why we can't judge or compare ourselves to anybody else. When your nervous system feels safe, it's going to be down to multiple different things, but we can't compare that to somebody else, and we have to respect that it's going to take as long as it takes. So this is what allowing is. It's being in the environment that feels difficult and uncomfortable and staying with it and acknowledging it and giving it enough time and without judgment to allow it to come out and feel safe when it's ready to. Okay, so how does allowing feel? Well, yesterday we spoke about acceptance. Imagine acceptance to be like the initial softening. The allowing is really allowing us to go one step deeper. So that might look like more openness or greater flexibility. It might look like less urgency, more trust, creating space in your system, maybe even letting go of control. Not because the symptoms have disappeared, but because you're no longer organizing your whole day around them. Now, allowing did happen quite naturally for me after I reached a point of acceptance. But I would say that the places where I was challenged the most was when my symptoms really significantly increased. That was when I was able to practice allowing and sitting with what was there. So being in the grocery store was a big trigger for me, being in work in an office with bright lights and lots of people and sounds and places like restaurants. So every time I went to one of these places and I felt my symptoms start to increase, instead of trying to run away from my body or resisting or pushing through, I instead softened into it. I was able to connect with my body, feel my feet on the floor. I would remind myself that I was safe, nothing bad was going to happen, I wasn't going to die. It it was temporary and that I could believe in myself that I could get through it. Because by this point, I'd experienced hundreds of occasions where I felt like something really seriously bad was going to happen, but it never ever did. So I reached that point of acceptance, and then I was able to really allow whatever was coming up for me. And yes, there were times when that felt really difficult. There were times when I still panicked. There were times when it still felt like a lot, but I really put my trust in the process, and I was really willing to keep giving it a go because I knew that the way I'd been living my life before wasn't helping me. So I really needed to make a change. From a neuroplasticity point of view, in order for things to change, you have to change. So for me, allowing looked like changing my response in the moments that felt really triggering and really threatening to me. Also, I do want to mention that because I was improving, I kind of let go of the end goal of getting to 100% recovery, and I just started living my life. I could feel that I was improving, I was starting to get my life back, and that was good enough for me. I also felt like I had a lot less pressure to reach full recovery because back 8 years ago, there was hardly anything online that was talking about this, unless I wanted to spend hours on Reddit and different forums listening to the horror stories that are out there. So just be aware that the more pressure you put on yourself to recover, the longer it's probably going to take. So as I said, I learned that the symptoms weren't harmful. I learned that nothing bad was actually going to happen, even though it really felt like it was going to in the moment. So my advice to you would be that if you notice the same patterns in yourself and with your own condition, notice that nothing bad has ever happened. And the more that you can really acknowledge that, the more easier it is to be able to practice acceptance and allowing. The easier it is to sit with whatever your experience is when you know that nothing dangerous is about to happen. Because usually the more you resist, the worse it gets. And I really noticed that in myself. Okay, so I'm now going to walk you through a really short allowing process that really helped me when I was recovering from PPPD. And this is called the R.A.I.N process. So this comes from a book that I read by Tara Brach. It's called Radical Compassion. Now, R.A.I.N stands for Recognize, Allow, Investigate, Nurture. So if you'd like to spend the next couple of minutes, I can walk you through how to do this process. So R stands for recognize. So I want you just to bring some awareness and recognize what's going on for you right now. Or maybe you might do this the next time you feel a symptom spike or you feel triggered. Recognize in your body that something is happening for you. That's the first step. It's almost the pause that interrupts what you were doing in the outside world and brings some awareness to what's going on in your inside world. Now the A stands for allowing. So I want you to see if you can really give your body permission to just allow and feel whatever is true for you right now. See if you can give yourself permission to feel the emotion or the sensation, whatever is coming up in that moment. Really try to release resistance around that. Really try to soften into it. And then the I stands for investigate. Now, this isn't really about investigating why we feel the way we feel. We don't want to judge ourselves. It's really about investigating what we're feeling, where we're feeling it. So where in your body do you notice the tension or the symptom or the sensation or the discomfort? And see if you can describe it in detail. So maybe it's a size or a shape or a color, a weight or a texture. If you were trying to describe this to somebody in a different room that couldn't see you, how would you describe it to them? Okay, now the N stands for nurture. So this is really about responding to what we need right now. What does your nervous system need? What is your body asking for you right now? Does it want some fresh air? Does it want to phone a friend and have a conversation? Do you want to go and move your body and walk outside? Are you hungry? Do you want to go and grab something to eat? Are you tired? Do you need some rest? Maybe you need an early night. Or you're thirsty. It could be absolutely anything. Do you want to go and be creative? It can be anything you feel like you need right now. And if it isn't something that you can do right now, and it doesn't need to be overcomplicated, it could be something really simple. Just make a promise to yourself that you're going to do it at some point later that day. So it's recognize, allow, investigate, nurture. This is a technique that I used many times during my own recovery, and I find it to be so helpful, particularly when I was feeling anxious or dizzy or overwhelmed. It really helped me to turn my attention towards my body rather than trying to run away and escape how I was feeling. Now, allowing is a skill that becomes easier with practice. And if you enjoyed the R.A.I.N process today, I encourage you to check out my free rebalance class that has the R.A.I.N process included. Now, many of my rebalance classes are designed to help you start to perceive sensations differently and help teach your brain that they are actually safe. So you can check out all of the information on my website, which is www.balancedyourlifenow.co.uk. So if there's one thing that I want you guys to take from today, is that your symptoms aren't dangerous, and the more you can practice accepting and allowing them, the safer your brain is going to start to interpret them. Over time, this is what helps your brain to learn that the sensations are not important, and it can start to filter them out. So the sooner you can practice allowing your symptoms to be there without needing to change them, re-engaging with normal life at a rate that feels good to you, is what's really going to start to help your recovery. Your world will start to grow, you will start to be able to do more, and when you do that, your brain will start to become less focused on the symptoms as a result. And this is how we recover. So I hope that this has been a useful video for you today, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow, where we're going to be talking all about the nervous system.